and welcome to Business Insight. I'm Adesua Iramosele, and as you know, on Business Insight, we discuss issues on business, innovation, entrepreneurship, sales, anything business related actually. And today is not going to be any different. We'll be discussing the potential of clean energy here in Nigeria. But before we delve into what we have for today, which is going to be very informative and educative, and if you are someone who is a business enthusiast or an entrepreneur, a seasoned entrepreneur, or a small or medium scale enterprise operator, or are you just someone looking to get into some sort of business, this is the show for you, and it's time to tune in. But first, we'll be having the news update, which will be coming to us by Alfreda. Stay with us.
A beautiful morning to you and welcome to the Business News. I am Alfreda Bassi, bringing you updates in the world of business. In a strategic move to tap into the growing business opportunities in Nigeria and the broader West Africa region, Dubai Chamber has officially inaugurated its Lagos Trade Office. The president and CEO of Dubai Chambers, Mohammed Luta, announced the opening of the International Representative Office during a ceremony in Lagos. This marks the Chamber's 7th office in Africa and 28th worldwide, aiming to strengthen trade and economic ties between Dubai and Nigeria. Luta emphasized the significance of establishing a presence in Nigeria, hailing it as a substantial milestone for Dubai International Chamber. The move is expected to provide a crucial platform for fostering cross-border partnerships in one of Africa's leading economies. The Lagos office will facilitate communication, economic cooperation, and collaborative events between local partners and Dubai, thereby fostering robust commercial relationships, organizing business matching, and networking events. During the event, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, extended a warm welcome to Dubai Chamber, encouraging businesses and entrepreneurs to leverage this opportunity for a lasting, mutually beneficial economic relationship. He expressed the readiness of Lagos to embrace Dubai, emphasizing the potential for a vibrant and significant partnership. The managing director of the Bank of Industry Limited, Dr. Olashupo Olushi, says the BOI has initiated a partnership with the Nigerian Content Development and Management Board, NCDMB, and Walter Smith to support the growth and development of modular refineries. He expressed the commitment on collaboration to address economic challenges in Nigeria. During a facility visit to the Walter Smith Modular Refinery in Ibigwe, Imo State, Olushi, accompanied by the Minister for State Petroleum Resources, Heneke Lokbobiri, and the Executive Secretary of the NCDMB, Simbi Wabote, highlighted the importance of promoting local production to curb inflation and other economic issues. He noted the strategic vision of localizing production to gain control over energy sources and stated that the BOI's engagement in supporting modular refineries is also strategic for the nation's critical economic sector. The ongoing talks for financing agreement to bolster the development of modular refineries, particularly Walter Smith, is seen as a means to manage inflation effectively and alleviate pressure associated with concerns like the minimum wage. Minister Heneke Lokbobiri echoed the importance of active modular refineries in addressing energy, oil, and gas challenges. He affirmed the federal government's commitment to supporting these refineries with funding and necessary assistance to encourage maximum production. Abdulrazak Issa, the chairman and co-founder of Walter Smith Group of Companies, outlined the company's target to industrialize the Southeast and the entire country. And still on partnership, Wema Bank has entered into a strategic relationship with ECOWAS Bank for investment and development, signing a substantial $50 million facility unveiled during a signing event in Lomé, Togo, aimed at supporting small and medium enterprises. The agreement emphasized the collaborative efforts to uplift SMEs in the sub-region. According to a statement issued by Wema Bank through Maruf Hosseini, the managing director, the $50 million facility is in line with EBID's plan to empower SMEs through partnership with influential financial institutions, stating that the collaboration will enable the Wema Bank to expand its loan disbursement capacity, focusing on positively impacting more Nigerians and business owners, particularly in sectors like women empowerment and agriculture. Hosseini highlighted the bank's commitment to driving impact and empowering lives through innovation, emphasizing the specific areas of focus for the credit facility. He further explained that the bank's mission is to empower lives through innovation, and this partnership aligns with the bank's philosophy of creating positive societal impact, making a significant contribution to food security and gender equality. George Agim Komdonko, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors at ECOWAS, emphasized the importance of women's empowerment and the impact of this credit facility on driving Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, related to food security and gender equality. Let's take a breather and we return with stocks, commodity and market trends. Thank you for staying with us. At the close of Thursday's trading session on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, a total of 563,707,721 shares were traded in 6,579 deals. This corresponds to market value of 3,442,051,260 naira 71 kobo. In comparison to Wednesday's trading day, Thursday's data reveals a 32% increase in volume, a 53% decline in turnover, and a 1% reduction in number of deals. The current market capitalization of Nigerian Stock Exchange stands at 39,100 billion naira. In total, 119 equities listed on the NGX participated in trading. The session concluded with 35 gainers and 19 losers. Better Glass Company led the gainers with a 10% increase in share price, closing at 59 naira 40 kobo per share. This was followed by Multiverse Mining and Exploration, Nigeria, Enamelware, and Make-Your Industries. On the losing side, Ella Lakes experienced the highest price depreciation, ended the day with a decline of 9.89% at 3 naira 37 kobo per share. Omatech Ventures, Academy Press, and Nicholas were also among the top losers. Universal Insurance Company recorded the highest volume of shares traded with 164 million shares traded. This was followed by Veritas Capital Assurance, Unity Bank, and Champs. And at the conclusion of Thursday's trading session on the Botswana Stock Exchange, BSE, a total of 108,706 shares were traded in 23 deals, equivalent to a market value of 176,293 Botswana Pula and 70 Thebe. In comparison to Wednesday's BSE trading day, Thursday's data reveals a 40% improvement in volume, a 15% decline in turnover, and a 15% decline in deals. The current market capitalization of the Botswana Stock Exchange stands at 599 billion Botswana Pula. In total, 7 BSE listed equities participated in trading, concluding with 2 gainers and just 1 loser. The 2 gainers were Seedco International and Lesotho Holdings. The only equity that lost value on the day was Turnstar Holdings. Cresta Maracanello recorded the highest volume of 43,372 traded shares, followed by Botswana Telecom Corporation, Seedco International, and Lesotho Holdings. And it's a wrap on business news this morning. Business Insight continues with Adesu Iromoseli. I am Alfreda Abeibasi. Thank you for staying with us.
Welcome back. You're still watching Business Insight, and today we are discussing clean energy. And we are anchoring this discussion on the news about Nigeria getting into partnership with Germany to export or supply 850,000 tons worth of natural gas to Germany, right? And this is the issue we'll be discussing today. And when we talk about clean energy, I'm sure some of you, our viewers, are wondering, what is clean energy? Clean energy is basically the energy sourced from, sourced from natural parts and that have a minimal impact on the environment. It has a minimal impact on the environment, talking about environmental pollution and all of that. So this kind of gas are clean, right? And it includes renewable sources like solar, wind, hydro, and geothermic power, right? So clean energy is the kind of energy that basically promotes sustainability and ensures that the environment is conducive. So it also helps to reduce greenhouse gas emission. So basically, just like the word implies, it's clean, right? And it's safe. Now, how is this energy gotten? Of course, we know Nigeria is rich when it comes to crude oil, which is one of our greatest exporting commodities. Now, crude oil, when it is being extracted, some natural gases are let off. Now, these natural gases, instead of being converted, they are flared, right? They are flared and they pollute the environment. And now the federal government is saying, instead of flaring this natural gases, why not, export it to other countries that can utilize it for some other purposes. So this is what we'll be discussing today, and we have with us Engineer Jimmy Olumuyiwa Ajibola, and he is the Managing Director of Automated Geotechnic Limited. Yes, and is joining us virtually to discuss expansively on this topic. Good morning to you, Mr. Jimmy. Jimmy.
Good morning, viewers, and good morning to you as well.
Okay. Could you turn up the volume? I don't know, because I really can't hear you here in the studio.
Okay.
Now?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning,
sir. How do you
and
do?
I hope that's clear enough. Okay.
Okay. Before we
good.
Okay,
Am I on?
let's not waste much time. I would ask you this: what is your take on this decision by the federal government to partner with Germany to supply this amount of natural gas to a different country? I mean, for a country like Nigeria that is, struggling with gas issue. Gas now is about 1,200 kg per kg. For 1 kg, we have over 1,000 naira, which is even more expensive than petrol itself. Is this the same gas we are looking to export, or is it a different kind of gas? Make us understand, Mr. Jimmy. Help us make sense of it.
Okay. It's slightly a different kind of gas because it's going to be liquefied natural gas. A little cleaner than the one we're using, but it still can be used for domestic cooking and all that. It can be used for that. But mainly, this is a very good deal. I mean, if the processes are put in place correctly, it will definitely boost the economy of Nigeria and also help to extinguish gas flaring completely. It's something that has been on for a long time to stop gas flaring, and this is one of the biggest opportunities for us to invest into it and make sure that we get our gas out at at a good price, and that will give the economy some boost. Definitely, it will do that to the economy.
So you're saying it is the same kind of gas. Now, what is the infrastructure, or what exactly would Germany be doing with this gas? Because I say instead of flaring it, flaring the gas, that's more like, letting it out as waste, thereby polluting the environment. They are deciding to export it. Now, exporting it, what would Germany do with this gas that Nigeria cannot utilize? What is that structure they have or infrastructure, that they possess that would enable them utilize these natural gases for a different purpose that we cannot achieve? Why can't we achieve that here in Nigeria without having to export it?
Okay, that's very good. That's a very good angle to look at it. Their own commitment to green energy projects in Africa, this is part of it. So what happens is they take this gas, they're investing a lot into us, into Africa, not only Nigeria, but into Africa. But this is one of the leading ways. And for them, they want an environmentally friendly, an environmentally friendly gas to be used everywhere around the world. Cars are going into hybrids, so they're using gas and electrics. So they're doing quite a few things. So one of the things for them is that once they take this gas, they will process it and use it for their own clean energy. Also making sure that it's something that their own emission, low on emission. They have a policy that they want to get by 2022 or 2045, there'll be no emission. The goal there, that's their own goal. And part of achieving those goals are getting clean gas from a country that can supply most of its needs. I mean, it's not a lot, but I mean, at least we're going to be supplying almost a certain percentage of the gas needed. And that for them, it's a good deal.
Amazing. Now, let's look at the angle of the government. Now, do you think, because since this government came into power, since this administration took over power, they have been all about, getting investors, foreign investors to come into Nigeria and all of that. That's probably the idea behind even attending the G20 summit in the first place. Now, do you think the government is doing enough in this regard? And what would this move, do to enhance or, help the economy of Nigeria, so to speak?
Well, this is a very good one, and it has two parts of it, the renewable energy and then the gas. We are going to be giving them gas, and then they will invest in renewable energies, wind farms that are coming up, So definitely it will boost the economy of Nigeria if properly done. I mean, it's attracting almost over $500 billion investment. And the first tranche of gas is expected to go out by 2026, which is really, I mean, that's like, you're looking at almost 2 years from now, which is a good way of, of processing the economy and making sure that we have money coming into and, giving investors, I'm sure they're investors, giving them a safe haven to come into. So if the policies are good and we can start it from now, it's already been signed and we can work towards it, I'm sure definitely it will help this economy and it will change the dynamics, and definitely we will then enjoy the proceeds of it as Nigerians as well. Okay.
So the federal government is proposing to supply natural gas to Germany annually. How sustainable do you think that would be? And what impact would that be on our country? Would it further limit the amount of domestic gas we have, thereby making it more expensive, or would it, sort of help our economy in some way? What's your thought?
Our gases are even trapped. Nigeria, from records, have one of the largest gas reserves exceeding over 200 trillion cubic feet, has been grappled with economic concern linked with gas flaring. So if we can harness all this gas in a proper way, once they put the policy in place, I'm sure there'll be a way. I mean, we're going to be giving approximately we process approximately 50 million cubic meter of gas per day. I mean, that's still a lot. And if we can extinguish flaring completely, we can divert this gas, We'll have the process. There are a few pipelines that are going on right now. There are a few discussions on them. I hope they come into light. Once they come into light, be able to process those gas pipelines and send them all the way to Germany. And that will really, really help the economy.
Indeed. Now let's look at the transportation of this gas from Nigeria to Germany. What procedure would be required? Would it be that would tankers be utilized, maybe tankers to carry the gas or something, or would they channel it through, neighboring countries and have the gas, like pipes and all of that, and have it run through all the way to Germany? And if that's the case, wouldn't that even incur more problems for Nigeria from other countries, neighboring countries, where this gas would have to move through?
Well, we're not sure of the end of the process, but one of the things we're sure of is that there are a lot of gas pipelines being established right now. Some of them are going through West Africa to Morocco and the rest of them. Some will go into vessels and then they'll be transported from the vessels. Definitely, if the processes are put in place correctly, they will not cause any harm to us. It's the same way we do crude oil. We sell crude oil to other parts of the world. We'll just export the gases in those ways, and that would be okay for us to sell to other countries, especially I know of the West African gas pipeline, which is one of the biggest projects there are. Its execution is still ongoing. Obviously, there are a few final investment decisions to be made. But as soon as it's done, with this in place now and with this deal signed, I'm sure the government would enforce that these things are done correctly, and then we move the gas out safely and then profitably.
All right. So now let's go to the issue of gas flaring. This seems to be a challenge with regards to environmental pollution. How do you think we can, minimalize, so to speak, this gas flaring issue? How do we minimize it and make sure that it doesn't become a menace, and it doesn't become detrimental? Because indeed, this emissions are actually detrimental to the health of humans. So what can the government do, or what can Nigerians do to ensure that gas flaring is, reduced to the barest minimum?
Well, I think most of the multinationals and the IOCs are working towards that. Gas flaring is, I'm sure there are laws and policies that guide gas flaring right now, and it's obviously reducing to the minimal. But I'm sure with this investment, we will have no other way than to extinguish gas flaring almost completely, because it's not going to be allowed, and the gas is going to be put into use for other purposes, which is one of the purposes is this exporting of it to Germany and a few other neighboring countries that would be useful for. So definitely the IOCs and the oil and gas companies will definitely look into better ways, and maybe government can then enforce better policies to make sure that this is done according to an environmentally friendly manner, so that everybody sticks to the road. They're just rules, and they will have to follow them. We'll have to find better ways of processing them rather than flaring them. And I'm sure it's top on the government agenda. I am sure about that, because nobody wants, everybody is moving away from flaring, and because of its environmental pollution effects, everybody is moving away from there. So I'm sure the government will be on top of this to be able to put policies in place that would make sure that it's done correctly.
Okay, amazing. We would have to call a quick break now. When we return, we continue the conversation. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Business Insight, and we have Mr. Engineer Jimmy Olumuyiwa Ajibola, who is an engineer, with us on the show, and he has been talking to us extensively on the issue of clean energy here in Nigeria, with regards to the report about Nigeria looking to partner with Germany in the export of natural gas. Okay, Mr. Jimmy, I hope you're still with us.
Yes, I am.
So, what can Nigerians take home from all of this? What is the impact of this partnership, and how long do you think it would take before Nigerians start to feel the impact? Because cooking gas is one of the major ways, sources of or mode or methods of cooking. That's what most Nigerians use in cooking. And how would this partnership help Nigerians to, to have better lives, basically, and not spend so much on cooking gas? Did you get a question, Mr. Jimmy?
Yes. Okay. Definitely, it's not going to be. I mean, obviously, it's not going to start as easy as it is. But what will happen when we start to harness the benefits of it? So what will happen is over time, over the years to come, then gas might be a little cheaper. Will become cheaper for us in Nigeria than because we're already processing it. So what will happen is, because this project has this investment has two parts, we'll also benefit from the renewable energy to be able to get power into other rural areas. So definitely it will be of great benefit to Nigeria in the long term. In the short term, it may be a bit difficult, because once we stop the gas flaring completely, then gas will become a little expensive, but then it will even out, and then we'll be able to get it at a reasonable cost in the long term. But in the short term, there'll be a bit of discomfort. What we'll definitely need to do and hope is that the government plays their own part correctly, and then we'll be able to see the rewards at the end of it. In not too far to come, definitely we'll see the rewards, because once the gas is going out into export, then our own internal ones will be able to come down to a reasonable price where people can buy it. And there's obviously the deregulation in the market will make it easy for you to buy gas at different prices and at lower prices come years to come.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Jimmy. We would have to let you go now, but if you have final thoughts you would like to share with us, let's hear it before you go.
Good. I think it's a good move, and I think if supported by the arms of government and the multinationals, definitely we'll be able to get this out in good time, as proposed by government for 2026. And with the good policies in place, I think it'll be a successful journey for us, and it'll be a boost to the economy, because there are other areas that we can harness and be making the economy move forward and making livelihood better for everybody in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Engineer Babajimi Olumuyiwa Ajibola, for that input. And Engineer Jimmy is a Director of Automated Geotechnic Limited. Thank you for joining us on the show, and we'll take a quick break now. When we return, we will be launching in our next guest, who will be talking extensively on this topic. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Business Insight, and we're discussing clean energy, and we are anchoring it on the news that the federal government seeks to partner with, Nigeria rather, not the federal government, Nigeria as a whole seeks to partner with Germany in the export of natural gas. So that is the issue, that's the discussion we're having today. And our second guest on the show is Mr. Cephas Malgui, who is the Deputy Director and Head of Geosciences and Data Management Department at Solid Mineral Development Fund, Abuja. Welcome to the show, Mr. Malgui. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Morning.
Okay. So, Mr. Malgui, what do you think of this initiative or this partnership with Germany? Do you think it is a welcome development? And how do you think it would impact Nigerians, the layman on the street? How would this partnership affect him or impact his life?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I would like to say clearly here that I think we are really lucky to have this partnership, and we are looking forward for a lot of benefit coming out from it. I would also like us to understand Nigeria is more of a gas nation than actually oil nation. The reserves that we have for gas, even if Nigeria is going to be at a full-blown utilization, we will be able to exhaust it in the next 500 years at our present consumption. So if we are having a potential investor that's going to come into the country, invest in gas, we should know clearly that actually gas is one of the best clean energy today that we have around the world. Two, we have a huge reserve that we will be able to exploit it within the shortest time. So if we have advanced countries that can come in with high tech, Germany is having one of the best technology for gas in the world. So coming into Nigeria and going to partnership with Nigeria, I think it's going to be a big boost for Nigerian economy. Don't forget, we have already initiated a national project. That's, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We have the HHA gas pipeline. The HHA gas pipeline means the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano pipeline. This same pipeline is actually designed from day one to evacuate our gas into Europe. Now, we are already having a very good investor who is actually coming in to be a partner in that project. It will bring a lot of economic development, because all the areas along the corridor of this gas pipeline will be the first direct beneficiaries. That is, I'm talking of in terms of direct benefits. So we have a lot of things to make, apart from the foreign exchange earning that the nation will be making. We'll have a lot of benefit coming out from it directly from the Nigerian investors who are actually going to key into this project.
Okay, Nigeria has one of the highest gas reserves in the world. Now, how can we channel this? Because for a country that is still struggling, as of today, I think 1 kg of gas still sells for 1,200. That is almost above the price for fuel in the country. Now, if we have so much gas reserves, why are we still suffering? What are the what technology do you think we should utilize to ensure that we can contain this energy for the good of Nigerians? Aside, of course, it's a welcome development to have it exported to other countries, and all of that. But at the same time, charity begins at home. How do we channel these resources for the benefit of Nigerians in Nigeria?
It's a beautiful question, and it's a mind-boggling question for that matter. But there's one big question I always want us to look at. When you want to start developing an industry, at the onset, it's always going to be a difficult, challenging moment. Right now, we don't have one single plant that is dedicated to production of gas in this country. That's number one. So the little people that are having opportunities to actually use our gas are the ones that are actually taking advantage of whatever that's available right now. But don't forget, if you can imagine, if supposing our gas that is being wasted today can be utilized and then be converted, that's what we call the condensate system. If we can compress that very gas and then make it to be of usage in the domestic house, that means every household in Nigeria can have that gas free of charge. But right now we are flaring it up. And as we are flaring this gas up, don't forget it's money that we're wasting. So the federal government is actually conscious of all this. At a time, they tried to ban anything related to gas flaring, but we couldn't succeed in making it work. Why? Because there are still no technology that we're having at home that will convert this gas into condensate that we'll be able to use in producing the liquefied natural gas that we're looking at for. So this is exactly the challenge we're having. And I think at this very material time, if the German government is coming in or German companies are coming in, that's going to be the first breaking point, because the little cartel that's controlling the gas won't be able to even survive. Everybody will have to come back and then look at the entire system whereby it will be operational. And the target is to make sure we supply gas to the German economy. Not just Germany, but the entire European nation will actually depend heavily on Nigerian gas supply. So if we look at those kind of intricacies, yes, naturally, at the onset, we are finding it difficult, because honestly, it's unbelievable that we are buying gas at 1,200 naira per kg as compared to what we're buying fuel today, which is much more cheaper. So, but if we can boost at that sector and develop the gas sector properly, don't forget, we don't even have to be pumping the gas direct from Niger Delta alone. We have a lot of gas within the hinterland. The inland basins have a lot of gas reserves. So Nigeria is having the tendency that we will reach a point that we will have virtually gas everywhere being utilized. And that's where the economics will come in. At that point, it must drop, because there's competition among the producers, and everybody wants to outwit one another. That will bring in the cost of gas to drop. I think this is the only thing I can explain for now. But right now, we don't have that, and it's expected. People will take advantage of the entire economics.
Very well put. Now, Mr. Malgui, what do you think about governments seeking to find investors who can convert this natural energy, natural gas, for other purposes aside cooking? Would that further, reduce the pressure on fuel? If people have alternatives of using gas for other purposes, I think there would be limited or at least reduced need for petrol or fuel. Do you think that is something the government should look into at this time to ensure that Nigeria has a better economy?
Thank you very much for this very important question. I like the way you framed it, because I want to give you a typical example. We have a lot of industries that actually depend today on black oil, or they use other means of either diesel or this kind of thing to supply their energy. Now, it's going to be a very interesting scenario. Supposing the gas system is working, supposing we are having gas supplies today in the country, do you know most of the industries will not depend on black oil? Most of them will not depend on diesel. Most of them will not go for anything related to petrol, but rather they will use the gas because it's much more cheaper. If you look at it within the past few, let's say few months, or let's say within the past 2 years, a lot of micro industry, micro components of our generating systems are being converted from using of petrol down to use of gas. The simple reason behind it is because it's cheaper. If you are fueling your generator, for example, with maybe 6,000 naira per day, you will discover that you will now be able to use maybe less than 3,000 naira for gas per day. And that's exactly the kind of technology we are looking at for. We have a lot of industries today. For example, all the cement factories, all the ceramic industries. If you go to Ajakuta, you'll see where different companies using black oil, using coal, using different kind of source of energy, because there's no gas today. If this gas system start working, I bet you most of those companies that are using diesel and all those stuff would stop using it. That means automatically we'll have a lot of the hydrocarbon, especially the gas and we'll be able to do so much. And I'm looking forward to actually a time that we will have more gas in the country being utilized. It will certainly bring down the cost of petrol. It will certainly bring down the cost of gas. It will certainly bring down the cost of a lot of things within. It will affect a lot of things within the economy. So we should be looking towards that. I am really, really happy about this discussion between Nigeria and Germany, because I am very sure, give it 2, 3, 4 years, you will see the impact within the economy will be very, very glaring.
I was going to ask you, how many years it would take before Nigerians start to enjoy the benefits of this partnership. Now, going to the issues we usually have with fuel, embezzlement, as well as vandalization and everything. Government is always complaining that there are some miscreants in the country that tend to more like embezzle our crude oil here in Nigeria. Do you think that is a problem we might also start to have when this industry is, this aspect of the industry, which is the exploitation of natural gas? Do you think this is going to also be a challenge that the government will have to look into to ensure that, this kinds of business or this kinds of partnership, goes well without any struggle?
I wish Nigerians will understand the technology behind the gas pipeline system. Unlike what we use in the oil sector, when you're pumping diesel in the in our pipelines, diesel is less volatile as compared to petrol. Now, the bad news for people that are thinking of vandalization, the gas pipelines are much more volatile, much more dangerous than anything you can think of within either the petrol sector or the pumping of gas. Now, the reason is this: when you're pumping diesel, it's a heavy, much more heavier crude. Product. Petrol is lighter than our normal diesel. Now, gas is much more lighter, and not just lighter than that, but it's a compressed, highly compressed system. Now, by the time that there's any little punching on our pipeline, I can guarantee you there's going to be an explosion. So people that are thinking of using that as a means of siphoning the gas from the pipeline, honestly, that's going to be a very, very bad business for them, because it will consume virtually everybody or the community at large. So I think this is an early warning for our people to understand that it's not something that we can play around with it. 2, the gas moves at a very, very fast speed. That's why the pipeline that conveys this compressed gas is a special pipeline. You don't use the normal pipe to convey this. So even to get access to those kind of facilities, it's much more complex. I think on the overall target, we stand a chance as a nation to benefit heavily, because there will be less tendencies of vandalization. There will be less tendencies of interruption. People can only, the worst that can happen is for people to now blast and then, but even then, I cannot imagine how, if you understand the kind of pressure that those pipelines carry, I don't think any human being will even think of getting close to that. I think, to me, it's a clear warning for Nigerians to understand that. Anybody that's thinking of that business, I think it's the wrong thing to do at this very material time. I can confidently say that.
All right. Now, since Nigeria is looking to stop the practice of gas flaring, what would be the benefit on our environment in the country?
I think it's a very interesting question because we don't need to tell anybody that gas flaring is not really good for the system. That's number one. If you go to Niger Delta region, I can tell you clearly from experience, I've seen it clearly that we will have this black soot of carbon deposited virtually on every plant that you walk around in the Niger Delta. The simple reason for that is the simple fact that, yes, we are blasting that very gas, it's converting the carbon system, coming back in from the air, and then being deposited on our systems. It's really unfortunate. We should have banned the flaring of gas from day one because it doesn't really make sense. Two, don't forget, this is something that can be converted from waste to product, economically beneficial product. So why do we really need to continue flaring up? But you see, don't forget that these companies that are producing oil are interested in just getting their own company without bearing in mind the consequences that the economy is bearing. Honestly, I think the federal government needs to be hard on that because there's no reason why we should flare our gas. No reason at all. If we understand the implication, we said if we don't have anything to do, we better convert and then give it to the citizen free of charge. It will make a lot of sense. But now that we know that it can be converted into an economic product, the federal government should face it headlong to make sure that actually gas flaring should stop and then we should convert it into economic product. Let's use it for the benefit of the economy at large.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kefas Malgui, for your time with us. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. And on that note, we draw the curtain on Business Insight this morning. Many thanks for joining us. And on behalf of the team, we wish you a very good weekend. I am Adesua Iramosele. See you again next week. Thanks for watching.